The story begins in the small town of Maycomb, Alabama, during the Great Depression, where life moves slowly and everyone knows everyone else. Scout Finch, a young girl with a sharp voice and curious mind, grows up with her older brother Jem and their widowed father, Atticus Finch. Atticus works as a lawyer and is known around town as a man who treats people with respect, no matter where they come from. Scout and Jem spend their early summers running around the neighborhood, getting into small fights at school, and trying to understand why adults behave the way they do. Their world becomes more interesting when a boy named Dill visits Maycomb to stay with his aunt. Dill is imaginative and fearless in the way only children can be. He quickly becomes the driving force of the trio's adventures. The three of them obsess over the mysterious Radley house, a quiet, worn-down place where a man named Arthur, Boo Radley has lived out of sight for years. The children know Boo only through rumors. Some say he is dangerous, others say he's simply strange. To Scout and Jem, Boo becomes a symbol of the unknown. They run past his house at night, dare each other to touch his front gate and imagine wild tales about what he might look like. Life at home is simple. Calpurnia, the Finch family's housekeeper, helps raise Scout and Jem with a firm but caring hand. She teaches them manners, makes sure they behave and reminds them that everyone deserves dignity. At school, Scout struggles to fit in because she already knows how to read and questions things that don't make sense. She soon learns that Maycomb's quiet charm hides a deep social divide. Families are judged by their status, their history, and even the part of town they live in. Scout sees how some people are treated as less deserving, and it confuses her. Atticus tells her to try standing in someone else's shoes before judging them. The peaceful rhythm of everyday life shifts when Atticus takes on a serious case. He decides to. The trial draws closer, and Maycomb feels heavier with every passing day. People gather in small groups on sidewalks and store fronts, talking about the case as if it were the only thing that matters. Scout and Jem hear bits and pieces, but the adults around them mostly try to shield them from the ugliness. Even so, they can't escape the tension. One evening, Atticus leaves the house with a book and heads to the jail where Tom Robinson is being held. Scout and Jem, curious and uneasy, slip out of the house with Dill and follow him. They find Atticus sitting alone in a chair outside the jail door, lit only by a single lamp. Before long, several men drive up. They approach Atticus, their faces set with anger and determination. The children don't grasp all the danger, but the tone is sharp enough to make them nervous. Scout runs out first before Jem can stop her. She pushes through the circle of men and looks up at them. The group hadn't expected children, and their mood shifts. Scout recognizes one of the men, Mr. Cunningham, and starts talking to him the only way she knows how. She brings up his son and the hard times their family has been facing. Her simple, honest words cut through the tension. Mr. Cunningham finally tells the others to leave. The men drift away, and the danger dissolves. Atticus is shaken but relieved. He gathers the children and sends them home. The next morning, the courthouse is packed. People from all over the county pour in, eager to watch the trial like a spectacle. Scout, Jem, and Dill find seats in the balcony reserved for the black community. From there, they can see Atticus rise to defend Tom Robinson against the Ewell's accusation. The Ewell family lives on the outskirts of town, in poverty and neglect. Bob Ewell, the father, is known for drinking, causing trouble, and avoiding work. Mayella, his daughter, appears frightened and tense on the stand, unable to give a steady explanation of what happened. As the trial unfolds, Atticus chew. In the days after the trial, the Finch house feels tense and quiet. Jem struggles the most. He keeps asking Atticus how the jury could ignore everything they heard. Atticus explains that people don't always do what's right, especially when long-held beliefs and fear get in the way. Scout listens, trying to make sense of the idea that decent people can still support something unfair. The verdict becomes the talk of Maycomb, and reactions spread through the town. Some are angry that Atticus defended Tom at all, while others quietly thank him for trying. Tom Robinson is taken to another prison while Atticus works on an appeal. Hope flickers for a moment, but it doesn't last. Before Atticus can move forward, news arrives that Tom tried to escape. He was shot multiple times while climbing a fence. The story breaks Atticus's heart. He knows Tom lost faith in the system after seeing how easily truth was ignored in the courtroom. When Atticus shares the news with the Robinson family, he carries the weight of his failure even though he tried everything he could. While the Finch family deals with the loss, the town shifts its focus to the Ewells. Bob Ewell, humiliated on the witness stand, begins looking for someone to blame. He confronts Atticus at the post office, cursing and spitting in his face. Atticus wipes his glasses and walks away, refusing to fight. Scout and Jem hear the story later and are shocked their father didn't react with anger. Atticus tells them that Ewell needed to take his frustration out on someone. If it helps him feel better, he says he can live with it. Jem doesn't like the answer, but he understands that Atticus isn't driven by pride. Bob Ewell's bitterness spreads. He tries to intimidate the judge and harasses Tom Robinson's widow, showing up near her house and frightening her children. The town mutters about his behavior but does nothing to stop it. Despite the danger, life moves on. Scout's school year begins, and she finds herself in a classer. The night of the Halloween pageant feels calm at first. After Scout performs her part, she and Jem leave the school late, walking through the dark path under the trees. Scout is still wearing her hem costume, which limits her vision and slows her steps. The only sounds are their shoes in the dirt and the soft rustle of leaves. Jem listens closely, sensing something that Scout can't see. He hears footsteps behind them. At first he tries to brush it off as someone else heading home, but the steps grow quicker and heavier. Before they can react, a figure rushes toward them. Scout feels herself shoved and twisted inside her costume. Jem yells for her to run but is grabbed almost immediately. The struggle is loud and chaotic. Scout can only hear grunts, scuffling, and Jem's voice rising in pain. She tries to move toward him but keeps stumbling. Then another, softer set of footsteps enters the scene, followed by a brief, fierce fight. The attacker's grip disappears. Scout falls and lies still, waiting for the air to settle. When she finally tears free of her costume and gets her bearings, she finds Jem unconscious at home, carried there by someone the children never expected to see. The man who saved Jem and Scout stands behind Atticus in the lamplight. He is thin, pale, and almost ghost-like. Scout looks at him carefully and realizes she is seeing Arthur, Boo Radley for the first time. Every rumor, every dare, every childhood fear fades as she meets the quiet man who risked his life to protect them. The sheriff arrives and examines the situation. Bob Ewell is found dead near the school path, stabbed during the struggle. Atticus assumes Jem fought back and might have killed Ewell in self-defense. He insists that the truth must be faced, even if it means consequences for his son. But the sheriff, Heck Tate, understands what really happened. Boo Radley saved the children, and exposing him would be cruel. He argues that dragging Boo into the spotlight would be like Killy.